Hey, I thought I'd put up some predictions for BSS Singles Invitational 2019. I did do a draft of this video. Um, well, it was more supposed to be the video itself, but it kept on rambling too long, so I'm going to make it a bit shorter than it was. I kind of just went through everyone's like tournaments, past and stuff, and it was getting to like the half an hour mark, and I was only on Jamal versus GE, so um, that was not particularly good. Um, so I'll kind of go through all the matchups, and then this is likely to almost certainly going to be the bracket just based on seeding. So I've just got it up here. Lloyd versus Leroy. I think like Lloyd's had an all right year. I think like for Lloyd, um, he's an interesting case. That I think throughout the year, from what I've seen anyways, that he's broadened his game quite a bit. Um, at the start, during like Open or something, or even last year, I would have said, okay, Lloyd plays one style very, very well, and as a result gets a good amount of points from the cartridge. However, in the tournament, he can't quite replicate that in the tournament scene because people don't want to lose to his style, and sometimes he can end up winning anyways because he's that proficient. But other times, like players of this level, we're talking like everyone here is probably top 15 at the least in terms of BSS. Are not gonna let him have it as easily when he's playing up against people who are of equalish skill. But I think like over the last year he's broadened up his style a bit. I mean, he still uses the Breloom, but like bringing in, I like his Charizard teams. Charizard, I think, is like a great fit for him, but also an excellent all-around threat. That doesn't matter what archetype your opponent is. It's less one-dimensional as well. You can change up that Mega. I definitely expect this series, Lloyd will be bringing out a variation of Surapoke sometime during this series. I think I looked at some of Leroy's games. Leroy's probably the person I know least about on this list. Leroy tends to use a lot of offense, and I'm talking proper offense, not bulky offense, and not even hyper offense, but just like squishy, fast mons. And he's gonna have to be really careful in this matchup that he doesn't fall prey to Mega Marwar, because I look at his teams like I'll try and find an example. BattleSpot Singles Open. He beats one TP, I believe. A Yomu Poke. Okay, maybe not this team. This team's just a Novica team, but I think game. Yeah, this team gets destroyed by Marwar. If it has like five, and this team is like typical. Is sort of thing. Yeah, he has his own Marwar, but look at Marwar under Trick Room versus this sort of thing. This is like the sort of thing he tends to build. It's like he could be in trouble. Never uses these sorts of teams that Yomu Poke is using right here, like with the Gliscor and the Porygon 2. Like he likes these sorts of teams. And so I mean that's gonna be have to see something that he has to look out for with these like when he's using these sorts of teams versus Lloyd, who tends to have like a lot of speed. He likes a lot of speed control. So like Flame Charge Charizard or Trick Room or and also stuff like Breloom can really annoy those sorts of teams, but I know Leroy does like to use Tapu Koko, so we'll have to see how that goes. I expect Lloyd to win this series, probably 3-1. That would be my prediction here. If they're all, I'm assuming they're all best of 5s. I'm gonna check that actually. Competitive play. Battle Spot Singles, Master Singles Circuit. Battle Spot Singles Master. Best of 5. Some BSS, no team lock. The best possible format. Yeah, 3-1. Lloyd. Can't say versus 1TB. Can't say. His season has been interesting. He's had a good run through in Masters. I looked back at his run. He beat the best Penguin. Beat some random in round 1. Beats Nintendo Geniuses. And one more who I forget. But basically, I looked at it and I thought, can't say he should be beating all of those. So maybe he got a quite easy run to finals. Also has very good cartridge CP, which has kind of elevated him. Like Ladder Tour, obviously he qualified but didn't win any of the games. BSS Classic, 1-2 games, not bad. 1-2 series, not bad. Classic is kind of like, of all these tournaments, Classic is the least important because these, obviously, you're only playing one Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon VSS game. So, like, when Dragon Whale has won Classic, it's like he hasn't been just playing some BSS. Not to take that away, Classic is a great tournament. Probably one of my favorites, other than BSPR. Obviously, Ikas didn't. Yeah, I didn't even play in Classic. So there we go. 1TP, kind of up and coming. I like at the start of the year. I mean, I've played him a lot. At the start of the year, he is definitely a lot worse than I was. An unpolished talent, I guess. That's what you call it. He's gotten a lot better throughout the year. I think his results don't really show it. But he had a great BSPL. Ladder Tour, I think he just got. I don't know who he lost to in Ladder Tour. Might check that out. Yeah, Masters. He did okay. He beat Slurm Megazord in the tiebreak, which is is impressive. Definitely two very good players that could definitely rival quite a lot of these, like the lower round people. Like all these Slurms probably better than Leroy or Dragon Wheel. So there's no easy feat to win that. I think the thing that really propelled him to win those was that his team selection was very good. The one thing that I think will really decide this series is team selection. I think, like, skill-wise, like, my opinion is both of them are solid players. And like not and I think a lot of it will decide on who brings the better teams, and this is where I'd be a bit worried for Can't Say. I've seen him bring some that weird, like the weird team from Lance. I know he likes it. Versus Light Screener, he end up losing in finals. But basically Specs or Slowbro, both games. It's just like versus guys that just use versus a guy who spams Mimikyu. But like Sableye and Mimikyu just destroyed. And it's like, it's got to be careful. I think, but if he has good team selection, I think he has a decent chance. For me, like, this is going to be a very close series. I think it's going to be a 2-3. I think 1TP is probably... I probably favour him. I think their results... You can can't say it's cartridge results. I think... but, like, outside of that, I think, their results are pretty similar. I think, like I said, I can't say his Masters run. I think he got a good bracket, which really did help him. Whereas some other people had to play like they were basically with Masters. There was like the top side of the bracket was so much harder than the bottom side of the bracket. So like whilst Can't Say was playing like NG in semi-finals, like someone had to play Puff Killer and someone had to play Puff and Jamal and all of that to like get through to the top, and Slurm and Megazard. So, but yeah, obviously, I think this is like a pretty even matchup. 1TB, I think, slightly favoured here, but only slightly. This could go either ways. Jamal versus G. This is an interesting one. I think both of these players are very. I don't know. I feel like when you talk about these guys, that there was a time when they were a lot better than they are now, and that might be harsh to say, but I think Jamal is I think he won 2017 Invitationals. Like I wouldn't put like great odds on him winning this one. I think GE is like he's just GE. He's just like very volatile as a player. You don't know what he's gonna bring in. He might be sandbagging this. Even though it's invitations, he might be sandbagging this series. So this could go 3-0 to Jamal. I think Jamal is favoured, but he has to watch out for his teams. He can't be like it might work versus GE and people who don't like care to prep too much. I mean, G definitely does prep when he wants to, but like versus Kenku, he's gonna be seeing the Thunderuses, he's gonna be seeing the Porygon Z's, and all of that kind of destroy what he tends to like to bring, like these bulky balances, like the Celesteela plus Tapu Fini stuff, but without having like really solid checks, and it's difficult. Or the low pony teams. Geez, like, is he gonna bring Glalie? That's the question. Glalie can be really annoying versus what Jamal likes to bring, and you never want to see Glalie on the opposing side of the field, especially in non-team lock. Glalie can be really deadly, and you actually saw it 1TP bringing the Glalie versus Megazard, and Megazard's team had there was a lack of respect on that team for Glalie. So yeah, I think like this, if I was to predict it, I think Jamal's gonna win. If GE comes out like playing properly and not being an idiot, essentially, I think he can take 2 or 3 games in that series. If he comes out trolling, then he's gonna lose 3-0. Lastly, Murray versus Dragonwell. Um, Murley, I think, is like, of all of these like players here, I think Murley is probably has the best record. I mean, the thing is that with Murley is he only played 2 tournaments. Did excellently in BSPL, I guess. He might have played Open and lost round 1. That is something that I might have to look at. Okay, that's full seasonal. But Open sign-ups, so Open should be on this page here. Round 1. Did Murilli play? No, he didn't. So he didn't play Open. Did he play Masters? Because I want to see like whether he's actually that low because he hasn't participated in stuff, rather than. So he won round 1 of Masters. Why has he got 0 CP then? Okay, this puzzles me. So does that actually change anything? Yeah, it does. Well, it does. I guess it doesn't unless he won round 2. If he won round 2, then he'd be 5th seed. That's BSS LT. Obviously, Murley got 8 points in that. Where's Masters again? Sorry, I'm having to look at this because the sheet is wrong. I think NG beat Murley, if I remember correctly. Masters round 2. No, Havens beat Murley. Okay, so he's only won 2. It wouldn't matter. I just seen that the sheet was wrong, which was curious. Basically, missed out from this by one point. If he'd have played Open, perhaps he'd have gotten there just by winning 2 rounds, or winning 1 time in losers bracket. Do you win in losers? That's another thing. Okay, round 3. Oh, he lost to Lloyd in losers. So yeah, it didn't matter at all. But yeah, so close to getting Kansi's seed, or even Zaya's seed if he'd have played Open. I think he's definitely the strongest player of these guys currently. Dragon Whale, I'm not sure what to think about Dragon Whale. I said it should finish off with Murley. Murley plays a lot, can play most archetypes. I think he's not on this level. Okay, Zaya, maybe he's on Zaya's level, but not on Grail Chem Puff's level. But he lacks something, in my opinion, slightly. I can't quite put my finger on it. But definitely a very good solid all-round player. Plays a lot of archetypes, which is always good when you see like some people in here are not as adaptable as Murray. Like I'm looking specifically Jamal, Lloyd. You know, Dragonwell may well be one of those. He tends to play like Japanesey looking stuff. Obviously doesn't play anywhere near as much as any of these guys, which is gonna you know, make this one difficult. Like I think like for me this probably like he would have been better playing anyone but Murley, really. Obviously like the big thing that Dragonwell won was Classic. If I can find it. Oh, dropping out the tour right there. But I looked at his run. Although he did very well. In classic, I think his run was pretty easy, and the fact is that you're playing 2 other metas that won't be involved here, so can't say okay that's a respectable win in round 3. Okay, I was like, oh, he beat Morelli, he beat Megazord. Okay, his run wasn't that easy. I think in classic, the squash. I think he should be beating the squash. And he beat Jamal in finals. Okay, actually, I was wrong. His run is respectable. But yeah, it's the problem is it's classic. And you look at the rest of this, 0 CP, 0 CP, 0 CP. 1 in open, I guess. A few games in open. Who did he beat in open? Yeah, but it's hard to bet for someone who hasn't played that much. Open sign up, so open will be down here. BSS open round 1, he beat Neomon, basically a random guy. Beat Demontoid. I mean, I don't know what to think about that. And beats he lost to Jamal, so he must have gone through the losers bracket, but I'm not going to count those. So basically won 2 games here, or yeah, that have been just 2 series that have been Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, BSS. That's why I worry for him, whereas everyone else here has won far more than that. Obviously, he wasn't in BSPL either, so for me, like, I look at his lack of experience over the year and think maybe he's the weakest player. I think he can still win a game or 2. I'd say this is a solid 3-1 to Morelli. Like, I'm always hesitant to 3-0 any of these. And then looking, and I'll go through these like quicker. Grail versus Lloyd. I kind of expect Grail to win. Just Grail has looked a bit. He hasn't looked as dominant. He's lost a few series that he shouldn't be losing. Losing to Light Screener. Yeah, I get Light Screener is up and coming, but you shouldn't be losing to that guy. So yeah, there's been a few shaky moments, but he's still clearly the best player in the scene. Like, last time these guys met, Grail kind of beat him 3-0 with a handshake. So could happen again. I think I always expect Lloyd is a player of that caliber to win a game, even against Grail. Zaya versus 1TP, or can't say. Let's say Zaya versus 1TP. I think this is very close. Zaya for me, like, out of these 4, is easily the weakest. And I think, like, if there was to be an upset out of these 4 guys, Zaya and this game, just because it's got Morelli in, are the ones that I think are like the most likely to be upsets. Like, his teams can be weird at times. I think like a lot of its success in early rounds, people didn't, for whatever reason, didn't expect Ghostium Z Mimikyu and these like weird like double electric builds, and like OU centered builds, which threw people off guard. But I think like you can see like his success has been up and down. He didn't have a brilliant BSPL. I guess it was his son was all right. He lost a lot of doubles games, so that kind of made it worse. Um, and he lost like round 1 in one of these tours. Yeah, it might be Masters. He lost round 1 or Classic. He lost to a sample team. You never want to lose to a fucking sample team. And it wasn't like a weird. I'd forgive him if he lost to like the Blast Pass sample team because it was like kind of more weird archetype. But like losing to Hippo Ag Coco Ments, not a good look. And then that guy brought the same team against Camcoop. Camcoop's own sample team and lost, which was funny. But yeah, this could be very close. I think 3-2 either ways. Whoever wins out of these, Conte or 1TP, I think can bring Zaya like pretty much to the brink. But of course Zaya can win like pretty comfortably if either of these guys are off the game. Camcoop versus, I'm going to assume it's Jamal. I think Camcoop probably will win this one pretty comfortably. Jamal, I think his Cam will prep quite well for this series, and I think find an interesting way to beat Jamal. I think it'll be 3-1. I think Jamal, for him, he needs to bring a variety of archetypes throughout the set. I think that will give him a good chance. Obviously, be prepared for Camcoop's signature stuff. Don't lose to Porygon 2 like certain people do. I know it's very easy to lose to Porygon 2, but try not to do it. And then Puff Murley, I think this could go either way. I think 3-2. Whatever way it goes. I think right now, I think maybe Murley is I think Puff is probably favoured. My opinion's been that Puff's the 3rd best player currently, but Murley's definitely like 4th or 5th. Or somewhere in the 3 to 5 range. I think sometimes it doesn't happen often, but sometimes Puff plays really badly. When he's playing solidly, like as he usually does, is like most of the players like on this range are pretty free for Puff. Or not free, but like he's gonna win solidly most of the time, and that sort of consistency he shares with like Camcoop and Grail. Jai doesn't have that consistency at all because his teams are bad. Well, they're not bad, but they're just like they are naturally inconsistent teams that they're weird. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very exciting series to watch. Puff, assuming Marika, Dragon Ball can win. I think any of these can go either ways. Even Lloyd Leroy, I think this is like the most one-sided, but I think they can go either ways. So like Puff Chem, go. I'm not even going to predict these, but like going to be a great matchup. We could very well see a Camcoop Grail finals, which would be good. I think if I was to predict someone who to win, I think Grail's still the favourite at the moment. Then probably like Camcoop, Puff Marilli, and then Zaya as 5th. Then I think after that you start looking at seeding. So I think look at a bracket. So can't say on 1TP have like a decent chance. I think if I look at the bracket, and I'd put them in like 6th or 7th. To like go far, like I think definitely they have the ability to beat Grail as well, though that's a very difficult thing to do. But to win the tournament, you're gonna have to beat Grail, probably. So yeah, there it is. That's my predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I don't know, leave a like, comment below. Actually, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Yeah, I was just bored, so I made this. Peace.